Let's hit that subscribe button.
You got both legs? You should have made the kick. Dum-dum, what's wrong with you?
Muscle. Go ahead. Sorry. Stop.
What?
Edit all of that out.
Offensive touchdowns
Think
in a
about
game
that.
since like November.
Think about that. Bro, we're not playing Connect 4. Touchdowns are how you win the game.
I think they should play 7 quarters. That's my solution.
That's a good one right there. Touche, dog. Touche. I like that. Because I was like, 7. So look, let's hit that subscribe button. You like that? I just do all kind of stupid stuff all the time.
I love it. I don't think it's stupid. I think it's
it's just me. I'm actually a goofball. I love being a goofball. Somebody indicated that I was on gummies last show. That's why I was so happy. Someone said he must be on gummies because someone said my boss said he must have had edibles because he's so happy. No, I actually enjoy talking football. I'm passionate about football. I love football. I've done it since I have been a wee lad. I've been a wee lad, right? And the way football has really changed. It's good and at times bad, right? So we're gonna jump into it. So here's the good part. But the other bad part is I can't sometimes turn it off. So that's why I don't go to games. Like I don't like watching a game around people. Because when I hear them talking, I want to say, shut up. You have no idea what you're referring to.
That'd be very funny. The camera just pans to the stands and it's you educating someone on why they're wrong.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's hard for me to watch the game when I'm hearing someone blabbering stuff that you're not right. And I'm not saying I have all the answers though, but I have enough knowledge. And yeah, I get names wrong because, bro, there's so many football players. Like I couldn't remember Michael Gallup's name when I was doing TA the other day. I was like, Gallup, dang, what is Mike's name? I couldn't remember, right? You just have so many names in your head and don't let a guy have the same name either, like Josh Allen, 41 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the DN, and then Josh Allen, the quarterback. Right? Hey, it happens. I get them confused. Oh my gosh. Right? So we're gonna show this. I drew up the last play because there are some things on here. Like this is the play. Right? This is the play that Kevin O'Connell, which I believe is a really good play. So you have down at the bottom, that's Justin Jefferson. That is TJ Hawkinson down at the lower. He's chipping. He has to chip. If you didn't watch this game, the New York Giants had a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Now, if you watched last night's game, you would see when you have consistent pressure on a quarterback, even one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, no matter how old he is, and as a Patriots fan, would you agree? Tom Brady, under duress consistently, has not and will not 10 out of 10 make great decisions. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, especially when it's up the middle. Especially when it's like that defensive tackle A-gap pressure. That's when he will rush it. Or rush that, excuse me.
Yes, every quarterback does that. And let me tell you something what consistent pressure does. Consistent pressure, and not any pressure, but consistent pressure. And consistent pressure does one thing to a quarterback. It makes all quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, look average. bad quarterbacks look worse, and below average quarterbacks, awful. Quarterbacks under duress and consistent pressure, it makes them multitasking impossible. It makes it impossible. People don't realize that. Look how Tom Brady looked last night. Look how that offense looked. Mm-hmm. There's no answer for pressure. There's no answer for consistent pressure. Yeah, outlet here and there.
Even when they don't get home, if it's consistent, the quarterback's anticipating it, which means he's speeding up his thought process. If it's a 5-step drop, he might be taking 3,
4.5,
he might be taking 4. Yeah, he's speeding it up because he doesn't want to get hit.
Yes. And when you speed up your steps, unless the receiver speeds up the route,
right,
it doesn't work. So here's what you have. Then you also have Dalvin Cook. He's in protection. So the protection is telling me that they're sliding right. We need help on the right side. Then up at the top, you have Thielen and I can't see who it is. I think it was Mason. Osborne. Yeah, Osborne is doing really good too.
Yeah.
Right? So you have this up top, it's kind of like what some people say scissors. It's not necessarily scissors because scissors is post corner. Mm-hmm. But you have a corner in, deep in. So what they're doing is what you do is wake. So you come off, timing, ease into it. That gives the ability to get on the heels of the corner. And then when you get on the heels on the corner, you can start to manipulate, set up tier one. Tier one, the traits of being a really good tier one receiver is understanding how to set up the defender so you can have leverage. But that's also understanding how the defense is playing. So what are the Giants playing right here? I know Wink Martindale, defensive coordinator. Love the dude. I love when I was in Baltimore, he made me think. Every day he come in here, he's a linebackers coach, but he's like, look, we're going to make you think today. And I just say, I'm going to make you think. Let's go. So Wink is telling his guys right now on this play, Wink is saying this. He didn't say this before the play, but he's saying, if we're going to lose, we're not going to lose with Justin Jefferson beating us. Someone else has to prove they can beat us. And I will be okay with that. But what we will not do is we will not lose because we did not cover Justin Jefferson. So they run one lurk. Now, if you flip it around, the defense, lurk is left. If Justin Jefferson was up top, that would be one buzz, which means they're lurking to the guy. Who's the guy? Justin Jefferson. So Justin Jefferson, they take care of Justin Jefferson. But what is really interesting is right there where the mustache of the Vikings, that guy is in charge. Yes, right there. That guy is in charge of Dalvin Cook. He's a linebacker / defense. So that's one lurk there and kind of dime. We are in coverage. Penetration, get to the quarterback. Everyone else, I say it on TV, keep your eyes on your luggage. Don't lose your luggage. So one key thing down at the bottom, Hockenson has to chip. Who is he chipping? Williams. But one guy that they did not account for is 97, Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is taking names and kicking butt. He has had an outstanding season, and he continues. Minnesota Vikings fans and just fans of football. You say, Kirk Cousins can't get it done. Kirk Cousins isn't this. Kirk Cousins, let me tell you something. The last time I checked, Kirk Cousins doesn't play defense, does he?
No.
Kirk Cousins wasn't giving up to Patootie in the run game and pass game to Daniel Jones. Shout out to Duke, University of Duke, and Charlotte. Daniel Jones was out there looking like Saquon Barkley at times, breaking tackles, stiff-arming people. He stiff-armed Patrick P. And P got a little upset a little bit and then tackled him and got up, put his hands up like, I didn't mean it. I lost myself a little bit, right? So here's the play. I'm going to tell you before we run it where he should go. He actually should go up top to the corner and the deep end. Or he should go to Dalvin Cook, get one of my best players, catch the ball in space. Even though it's short of the sticks, I would rather have my guy catching in space. But there's a reason why he is not able to throw the ball to Dalvin Cook or to the left side, because penetration from Dexter Lawrence, which doesn't allow him to step up into the pocket and look to his left, because where's Dexter Lawrence getting penetration?
Right in his face.
To the left.
Mm-hmm.
Left of the offense, right of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the penetration goes, like after that, I'm going to show you. Dexter Lawrence is lined up over the center. So they're lined up over the center. You see the end up top. He's out in space. So that is telling them, look, left tackle, you solo. You one-on-one. Make your money. Guard, the guard is also understanding, he's aware. So the center says, hey, guard, this is me and you. But guard, you also got to keep your eye in case some spin move, something's going on. But where the pressure that they're concerned about is number 99, Mr. Williams. Immediately, I said, where are they going? Look at the left guard up top, the left tackle. He's in space. Immediately, when the ball is snapped, Dexter Lawrence goes to town on the guard. Guard has no chance. You got the chip, which indicates, hey, let's slow him down, buy some time. Justin Jefferson is down at the bottom. Look at right at there at the 40. Lurk. Mm-hmm. He's lurking Justin Jefferson. Where are you? Kirk Cousins is indicating right now, my first look is to the left. It's to the right. Justin Jefferson, my go-to guy. My tier one, my guy. So run the tape, slow it down. Now, pause. So right now, Justin Jefferson, look at the nickel right there on the mustache on the center on Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook already sees, okay, I'm good. Everything's clean for the 3 or 4 seconds that milliseconds that I need, 8.08 milliseconds. All right, I'm good. Everybody got to make you hay. So they go, run it. Stop. Right now, Kirk Cousins is in looks like his 5-step drop. Right now, Justin Jefferson is in and out. In his in and out, Kurt is saying, okay, I can't get it to my guy, but it's a corner route. He's out leveraged. They have him, they box. It's box, Ohio, in and out. High, low, inside, outside. He goes in, you take away the inside. If he goes out, I take it outside. But we're playing this, we're playing this together. We worked on this all week. We know where they want to go to the ball, 4th and 8. Right there, Adam Thielen up top, he's inside leverage on the corners, inside leverage, but that's great. He can run this corner. Keep it high. Don't shave it off. Now look, Osborne has the corner. The corner's hips or butt is toward the sideline, exactly where I want him. Let me give an indicator step to get him to open up even more to the outside so I can run this Cadillac turn to the inside so I can get this first down. Dalvin Cook is the check down. So you have what we call high Adam Thielen corner. Low is the dig, check down. Run it. Right? Now, as he's throwing the ball, go back a little bit. As he's throwing the ball, people are like, why did he go there? Well, here's why he can go there. The pressure is on him, and he sees on the right side where the pocket is, where it's blocked, That's the only place he could go. Now, should Kirk have committed to this? He's committed because his first read is Justin Jefferson. Now you go back, TJ Hawkinson had been murdering this secondary.
Mm-hmm.
He had been making catch and yards after catch all game. Now I'm going to use this reference because we're going to talk about some other teams. Bro, you got to be able to read the room. And he's reading the room is, hey, I've been going to my guy all this time. I'm betting on my guy. They got in their mind, they have their best two route runners on the same side of the field. You can't go wrong. They haven't been wrong all game until now. That's why those guys get paid. Now, what he should have done is looked and said, all right, this isn't good. He should go up top. Hawkinson is open, but guess who else is open? Look up top. Adam Thielen is not open because they're on the wide side of the field. That's a hell of a throw. He doesn't, as you see, he doesn't have the time. But the problem with Kirk Cousins is currently right now, do you see any room for Kirk Cousins to move and go to the left side of the field?
You know, if he turns it all, he's getting crushed by Lawrence.
Yes. And the end is getting penetration as well.
Mm-hmm. And even to get it to Dalvin here, he would probably have to float it. And that gives the linebacker enough time. Dalvin's talented enough to make a miss, but he could easily just get flattened immediately.
So when you look at this in instant replay, in the armchair quarterbacks of all these people sitting in the bars, in the stadium, quarterback coaches, offense coordinator, all up top talking about where he should go with the ball. This is what people complain about, but here's the problem. What you're complaining about is from the comfort of air conditioned, not a 360-pound man breathing down your neck, trying to gobble you up, pause, like it is a Dunkin' Donuts munchkin. He should go up to the top, but he doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the pocket protection. And so all the people talking about, that's a horrible play. Now, when you look at this play, Coley, do you think this is a horrible play design?
I don't know that's necessarily horrible. It wasn't the right play design based off the results. I think that's a fair assertion to make.
Yes, but the results that you're referring to, here's the results that you're referring to, and this is the disconnect between players and fans. You're talking about the result. What I'm showing you is called the difference between paper, the Jimmys and Joes, and the X's and O's. See, the play design is telling me where we should go, and it should be a good play. But what the paper or the play design does not have the ability to break down is, does your guard get his butt kicked or not? Can your guard hold up to a Pro Bowler or a guy who's about to hit, if he hits free agency, gonna get paid?
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta give a ton of credit to the Giants for how
you have to.
This. I also think, if I remember correctly, and it feels like this game happened weeks ago based on how many other games got played.
Isn't that amazing compared to what we've been seeing? I mean, the last couple of weeks of football with resting players, blah, 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 it's been okay. But this was like going to the playoffs, it's like a whole new season.
Yeah. I think Osborne, the play on third down, dropped a pass that would have made it 4th and short.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So it's that's where it's like
it's a combination.
People focus on this one play because it's the last play of the season, but there were a couple of breakdowns. Because if it's like, even if it's 4th and 3, the play changes, the personnel changes, the Giants defense changes. You don't know what you're going to get on a play like that. I think where, from the fan perspective, every week we're inundated with commentators telling us, oh, 3rd and long, 4th and long, never throw short of the sticks. Like, that's all we hear. So that's where people get upset when they see it, the TJ Hawkinson nowhere close to first down on his route. And I understand he had to chip and all that, but that's what we get blasted at us every week.
Yes,
And the other part of it, I think Justin Jefferson had, it was either one reception or one target the entire second half. Now, again, you have to give credit to the Giants, of course.
Yes,
but
it's not like Justin Jefferson said, well, you know what? In the second half, I'm going to go in the stands and chill. He was working, but sometimes those guys get paid too.
They do. They also get paid in Buffalo. The reason I bring up Buffalo is earlier this season, Minnesota, I believe, was on the road in Buffalo.
Yes.
And Kirk Cousins, with the game on the line, I believe it was another fourth down situation, forced a jump ball to Justin Jefferson.
And that's the one where he caught it with one hand.
Yes. And he made the play. And I think fans remember stuff like that. Because, I mean, you're 89, the analyst. Go back to 89, let's call it 2004.
Let's say 2005, 2006, 2007.
Okay, 2005, 2006.
Some people said my 2010 year wasn't that good, but I'm glad you're watching. Appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button.
If you're 18 on this team and you get one target the entire second half, are you like, listen, coach, this is a great play design. I get it. I was covered. No, of course you think you were open.
Yes, but here's the other part. That's the part, that is the beauty of the arena that we play in. We always believe, if you're a boxer, you believe you could beat every boxer. You could beat every boxer. How many idiots got in the ring with Mike Tyson and said, I know he sleeped this guy 3 months ago in 21 seconds. I know he sleeped this guy by the third round. I know he sleeped that guy, but no.
I'm built different. Yeah.
I'm built different. And you are built different right up till Mike Tyson mollywops you and hits you in the face.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you realize, I am built different, but he's built even more different than me.
Differenter. Yeah.
Differenter. Yeah. So and this play right here, when he throws it to TJ is in the National Football League. This is open.
Sure, yeah.
This is open. Now, what is done is the technique by the defender. He doesn't go for the strip. He doesn't try to blow him up. This is what you call great technique. Seat ball, hit ball. Look at him. He doesn't let go. He doesn't try to. He's like, I am holding on for dear life. I'm not. No. And that's what happened. It's great execution by the Giants. Good penetration. Good coaching. Good technique. And great execution. Now, moving forward, let's talk about Daniel Jones out there looking so good. How come Daniel Jones under Brian Daboll looks like a playoff winning quarterback? And a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, he was a bust. And that just shows you coaching matters.
Yeah, big time.
Coaching matters. I don't know why all of the Belichick coaches, when they go off to other places, here's the stories that I hear that the Belichick guys do. Every Belichick guy comes in there. Josh McDaniels has done it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Patricia has done it. Joe Judd has done it. They go in there and they say, hey, guys, let me tell you why I'm here. And you know what he does? He has the team, the film guys, all that stuff. And they play a tape of all the negative plays of the year before. Why I'm here. I'm here because this is the type of players you are. Josh McDaniels did it in Las Vegas. That's what he did I think first couple of meetings. He played that. Didn't go over well.
No.
Guys are like, what the? Matt Patricia did it. Joe Judd did it to a certain degree. I'm not going to say exactly what he did because then that would get some folks in trouble who told me. Every guy has done. They've walked in there and say, "I'm going to do what Bill Belichick does because this is the results we've gotten." You ain't Bill Belichick, bro.
Right. They all try and do
and
Bill
let me tell you
Belichick
something.
impersonations without
Bill
any of the
Belichick,
resume.
Bill Belichick need to alter some of his tactics because that ain't working in New England right now either. Coaching matters. I believe Brian Daboll should be the coach of the year. What Brian Daboll has been able to do, acquiring guys off practice squad who are playing unbelievable. Richie James, he was drafted with the San Francisco 49ers. They discarded him like a smelly dish rag that's been wet and sitting out all day that's mildewed and musty. It's been remarkable. Saquon Barkley looked great. Daniel Jones out there scrambling like a vanilla Michael Vick. It's coaching matters. And the ability that Brian Daboll has, and remember this word, read the room. Brian Daboll understands how to read the room. I tell you who doesn't know how to read the room. Staley, Brandon Staley. He has no idea how to read the room.
No, he sure doesn't.
Out there looking like Jeff Saturday. Oh. You talking about you know what? You want to learn how to trick a game off? Let them two guys tell you. They got the blueprint to trick a game off.
Yeah, I told you this job might become available. I didn't know.
I don't think
Chargers, I don't think so now either. The Chargers owners apparently are very cash strapped.
But here's what's going to happen. Brandon Staley needs to understand everything he's done. You need to stop, throw it out, and you need to start coaching and stop playing this analytical game. Kansas City has run the same play against you 2 years in a row in two different places, but yet with the same result. Thursday night, the year before, they ran this play with Kelsey, breaks a tackle, scores. Next year, they run it damn near the same position, same route, same individual, same outcome, same game on the line. Win. You're a defensive-minded coach. Yes, he's a personable coach. That's great. But you got to be able to read the room. I don't trust Staley to make good decisions at critical times.
That's more what it is. I don't think it's the analytics as much as how he applies them.
You know what that's called? Book smart, street dumb.
Right, for sure.
Let me tell you something. Brandon Staley has COVID, the Dumbacron. He got the Dumbacron variant. That's what he has. He got the variant.
The
There's
brain
Omicron. Fog. He brain fog. Bro, you're up 27-0, and you got lucky because there was only really one bad decision by Trevor Lawrence. All those other picks, tip balls, those were different. There was one that was literally a bad decision, but the other one, you're not responsible for a tip pass. You don't know when you throw it. Hey, I know he's going to tip it, but I'm going to throw it anyway. Nobody thinks that. But
tried to do it late too. Kyle Van Noy almost made the play of the season. Hit him in the face. That was incredible.
Man, goodness gracious, Brandon Staley, come on, bro. I told you I have not seen so much 3rd and 4th and short, shotgun formation, passing the ball. So many rocket scientists and curing cancer coaches, but yet these dudes can't tie their shoe and chew gum and scratch their ear at the same time. But you're giving them $4 or $5 million a year.
Well, when you talk about the fundamentals of what we just talked about with the Giants defense, that seems to, like you talk about common sense versus it's very uncommon, those kind of fundamentals. So I'm glad we called them out with the Giants because I mean, we look at the other side of the field, Doug Peterson, with the season on the line. I think it was 4th and 1. And he goes to the T formation. He pulled up
oh my
the
God.
1940s Navy.
Is he trying to get the first down? The old-fashioned way?
That was beautiful.
Oh my gosh. So are you telling me we're going to walk to the store? We're not Ubering? Oh my gosh. How dare he? Man, it is unbelievable how smart teams got 37 geniuses on a coach. They got 22 positions. So you got the O-line coach, the assistant O-line coach, the quality control guy who copies the game plan, who watches film to give them indicators. Then they plug it into a computer to let them know, hey, this guy has been playing. He's had, 45 snaps. So we may want to rest him and let him rest his legs. And then we have a tight ends coach and an O-line coach and a running backs coach and a receivers coach and a DB coach. But then inside the DB coach, we got a corners coach and a safeties coach. Then a linebacker, D tackle. Then we got ends and then in the outside and inside linemen. Then we have analytics. Man, you got all of these people that are on the staff, which are useful, but none of them can help you once the ball is snapped and you have to do the actual work.
When you talk about coaching matters, what does it mean for a team when they're up or down 27 points at halftime?
Hey, here's why I tell you. Here's why I tell you coaching matters. Some people have said they're waiting for Brock Purdy. I like to call him Pretty because he just throws the ball so really good for the last pick in the draft. People are saying, when is Brock Purdy gonna show us that his draft status is gonna rear his ugly head? Here's the answer to that. Brock Purdy has shown me in 6 games that Trey Lance is not the starting quarterback in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy has been sitting on the sideline being coached, taking notes, and being a sponge and applying everything he's learned by sitting down and watching. He's been coached up. Brian Griese has coached up everyone on that offense. Jimmy Garoppolo looks pretty decent, would you say, before he got hurt?
When he played, yeah. When he played this year, he did.
Brock Purdy has looked pretty decent since he's played, would you say?
Yeah.
You know who hasn't looked decent?
Who?
Trey Lance.
Well, he played 2 games. One of them was in a monsoon. And then the other one was a quarter before Kyle Shanahan ran him up the middle. That's where it's like, I don't know that we actually saw Trey Lance play this year.
I love you said that because you don't even realize you just walked into a buzzsaw. Why did Kyle Shanahan run him up the middle?
I could not tell you.
Because he doesn't have the ability to process information fast enough. He's
Even
discovering he's discovering where he's going with the ball he's discovering where he's going with the ball at the snap, not confirming.
Even
Trey
if that's
Lance
true, why wouldn't he? I'm not debating that. Why wouldn't he run him outside though?
Because he's not fast enough to get onto the outside.
I don't know.
He's not as fast as I'm not asking you, bro. I didn't really ask you. I'm telling you.
If he's not that fast, why are you running him at all? Then hand the ball off.
He has this element of speed that everybody assumed that he had. That he's fast.
Okay.
He's just not NFL fast. When you're playing against South Dakota, you look fast. You look
sure,
good.
Yeah, I understand the huge talent gap.
But you don't realize it till you get him in there and you go, oh, he's not as fast as we thought. Is he smart? Yes. Trey Lance runs a 4.92. That's not fast in the NFL, bro.
So this is where it's like, why would you trade that much to get up to 3 to take him?
Because that's
crazy slow for
Oh,
Like,
look,
that's not.
Wall, you done flipped the script real quick, huh?
No, I didn't know we were in a 4-9-2. Like I've watched him play coming
That's
out.
the difference. You watch. Go
But it's
ahead
like-
and talk. I'll sit back and let you
fields.
talk.
Because
Yeah, go ahead.
we've talked about 40. I've talked to Arian Foster before. His 40 time was
Aaron
close
Foster
to
is-
5.
Yeah,
It was close to
Aaron
5,
Foster
but it was
is not
because
he's
it
not
was because
outrunning anybody. Sorry.
I've watched him outrun people.
Yeah, you watch him outrun a few people. He hadn't outrun, like, you've never seen him like in a real foot race, like a Buddha Breaker and DK Metcalf. Like, them dudes hitting 21, 20 miles per hour, right?
Sure, he got a cut and he found a seam, then he could take
Yes.
off. But the reason
Yeah, he
his
could
40
take
time,
off, yes.
But my point is, the reason his 40 time wasn't great is because he had a hamstring injury right before the combine. So that's where it's like,
I don't care.
are these numbers very indicative of their actual speed?
That's true. There's game speed,
Right. That's what I was
and there's
getting
40. But when your 40 time is what, 0.8 tenths of a second off of
From
being
5.
5,
Right.
when D linemen are running 4.4,
Right.
tackles, defensive tackles are running 4.6s. I'm not frozen. I'm waiting on you.
I know. No, I'm in agreement. That's slow.
And that's what I'm saying. And so you go, no, he's not slow. And I say he's 40. Bro, there's so many measurables that you can't apply them until all of a sudden you start asking, like, why? What? Hey, well, Brock Purdy he's a 4-year starter or a 4-year college player. It took him 4 years to develop. And let me tell you something. There's some players right now, they may be coming out early or came out early, but it's taking them a little bit to develop. Most premier wide receivers, when they hit their prime, you start to see about 24, 25, oh, this guy can play. And about 25 to 27, you go, it's pretty evident. He's going to be hovering in this area code of good playing right now for the next 3-4 years. Now we're just not aware of how and when will it start to taper off, and how fast will it start to taper off. That's all DNA.
How much do you think it helped Brock Purdy stay at Iowa State all 4 years? And I ask this because of how abundant the transfer portal has become. A lot of guys jumping around opportunity to opportunity.
You also jumping around for opportunity because of situations. You also talking about this is the generation of instant gratification. They want it now, right? This generation right now, they want to go to the Super Bowl or the playoffs, but they have no desire to play in the regular season. So you are forced to assume that they're going to be developed and complete. That's why high school kids, basketball, college, they're being ranked. Oh, this is a 3-star. This is a 4-star. This is a 5. Let me tell you a 2-star out of New Orleans named Ed Reed. He was a 2-star. Did you know that? Ed Reed was a 2-star. Can you tell me who else was a 5 or 4-star in that draft class in that year that we know is like, wow, he's a dud? No,
sure.
We don't, because Ed Reed was there. That's what we're focused on.
Right.
It's just, man, this game is just, I don't want to say watered down. It's not watered down. We just are quick to crown people. We're quick to say who's that. We can go back to San Francisco 49ers against Seattle Seahawks. I said, Swole Bones. What did I say his 3 routes that he's good at? Go, hitch, slant, which is all muscle, muscle, muscle. And anything that's kind of like, he caught a pass going, he had a tight formation. They did play action, great play action, ran a deep over. He had his touchdown or his big play, go route. Ran a slant. Did you see him run any routes that you would go, man, he crossed him over. If he does, it's like, oh, he crossed him over to run a short route. He doesn't have a very creative route running, which makes him a tier 2 wide receiver to me, which is he can play football. But if you put him on the Minnesota Vikings, he's not the number 1 wide receiver.
No.
You put him with the Carolina Panthers, he's not the number 1 wide receiver.
Put him on the Seahawks, he's not the number 1 receiver.
I know that. I've seen that several times.
When do people drop? And I know the answer is never, but when we talk about Brock Purdy being the last pick in the draft, the 7th round pick, waiting for him to play up to or down to that, when does the conversation change to like, well, maybe 32 teams were just very wrong?
Well, of course you're wrong. It happens. You have emotion, situation. The draft, I call the draft, I've never said it on this show, so I'm saying it now. Here's what the NFL draft is, especially with those teams in the first top 10 picks. Okay? I'm going to go do a workout. I'm going to do it on the Stairmaster for an hour. I'm going to do a interval run. I'm going to lift weights. I'm not going to drink anything. I'm not going to have any electrolytes. I'm just going to work out for the next 2 hours. And then when I leave the gym, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to go grocery shopping. What's the probability of me going grocery shopping with my eyes and my stomach versus my shopping list? On my shopping list, I'm going to get eggs, okay, bread, veggies, and I need some paper towels. Okay? Here's my shopping list. Okay? That's my shopping list. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 things, and I may have to get some cleaning supplies and something else. Now, I've been working out for 2 hours. I haven't eaten or drinking anything. Do you think I'm only going to leave with these 4 items?
Heavens no.
Hell no. I'm going to leave my cart, the little, the handle. I ain't getting the handle. I'm getting a cart because I am shopping with my eyes and my stomach. That's what the NFL draft is. Do you think that the Tennessee, the Houston Texans, they had the 2nd overall pick thanks to
Lovey.
Thanks to Lovey. You think the Houston Texans are not shopping with their eyes and their stomach? Yes.
They have to. Yeah, they have to.
Why do they have to? Because they hungry.
Yeah.
It's not that teams have gotten it wrong. It's what position are they in and what immediate needs do they need right now? And then who's available and who's behind them, who's also hungry and starving, that if they don't get this guy, somebody else might get him. Because nobody wants to be the team that passed on Justin Jefferson. They don't. Nobody wants to be the team that passed on. I had an individual say, man, how do we get the next Skylar Thompson? Skylar looked good, actually. I was surprised.
He did.
But you know what that's called? Coaching. They have prepared him. Now, how good will he be? I don't know, but I guess what? He gives you a chance.
He did.
He gives you a better chance. He gave the Miami Dolphins a better chance than Carson Wentz gave the Commanders.
Oh, yeah.
But because Carson Wentz had a $28 million price tag and he's a former draft pick, they have to. Because, everybody knows Carson Wentz was drafted, so he must know. He was drafted for a reason. Yeah, he was. He was drafted for a reason. And that reason that he was drafted no longer exists. I was drafted as a third round punt returner wide receiver, and at 43 years old, soon to be 44, I don't have it anymore. Just like Josh Norman doesn't have it anymore. Kirk Cousins is not the issue for the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings need to retool on the defense. They got a pretty good defensive line, I think. They got a pretty good linebacker core. Their secondary needs to tighten up. They're playing zone coverage. They're just not as good as their record indicates on the back half. Bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
they're not.
You talk about a team, too. This is what I hate about the draft. There are teams who draft best player available, regardless of position, and then there's teams that draft for need.
Yep.
The Vikings have taken multiple first-round corners the last 4 years.
Bad corners. They're not very good.
No, but bad corners. People who I believe are literally in prison as well. Like just over. Like they've missed every which
you talking
way.
About Mike Hughes, huh? Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
he was down in UNC Chapel Hill. I was kind of hoping. You said that. I was like, yeah. Mike,
but it's like
Mike was a little rough around the edges.
It's like when you're there's so many places to find draft information at this point where I don't even know how many. Like you have teams with like 50 scouts. I don't even know if you need that many. I think you need more people doing like legitimate. I was watching the Belichick Saban HBO thing, documentary they did, the sit down they did, and Belichick's talking to Saban about prospects and like, hey, can this guy play? Can that guy play? And Saban's like, you'd be shocked how many teams draft players out of here and never pick up the phone and ask me about them. Yep. That feels like such an obvious step to take. That teams just are ignoring.
No, it's not. There are some people that believe, why am I going to ask a coach when we have people we pay a salary to do their job? So they're believing that the scout did their due diligence and talked to all the right people.
Both, though. I would do both. Why not both?
But you can't, though, right? Like, you can't check behind every single employee you have to make sure they did their job. You are assuming that they have, and you find out they haven't. It happens.
But it's like the margins are so thin to miss. I would like to, and I understand, like your 7th round draft pick, you probably didn't call North Southwestern State's coach to find out about this basically lottery.
But so
your first round pick, I would call every person who's ever talked to that guy.
But here's the other part, right, that you don't know. You also don't know what the relationship and what has transpired prior to that they said, hey, man, this guy, he can't play. And then you find out he can play. And then you realize this coach doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Sure. That's why I like to use the Saban example, because I think he knows what he's doing. I remember Les Miles. It was on, I can't remember where I heard it, but he used to have a list outside of his office at LSU of players who he would not, like facing the locker room, of players that he would not give a good recommendation to the NFL over. That's bad coaching. That's to me, slime ball stuff. That's slime ball stuff.
But you also that also has to do with these coaches also have egos, just like players have egos. And it may be someone said something, right? Give you an example. I'm reading up on the Commanders. Did you read that Scott Turner he was not on board with Carson Wentz?
No, I didn't.
Right? He was just a report. I read a report last night that said Scott Turner was not on board with Carson Wentz, bringing Carson Wentz in. Scott Turner was also extended and fired. Guess who the Commanders are talking to that they believe they're going to bring in as a coordinator right now? I think David Bevel, who was in Detroit last couple of years. I don't know why or what, so I wouldn't say if he's a good pick or not. But let's be honest, the last couple of years, I would not think that the coordinators prior to the Dan Campbell era, coordinators were good. Okay. Pat Shurmur? When has Pat Shurmur's offense, other than that one darn year in Minnesota with these good players, has shown us it's good? Pat, if Ron Rivera, and run this as a short, and I will run, if Ron Rivera, I'm going on, timestamp this. If Ron Rivera hires Pat Shurmur as his offensive coordinator, I guarantee Ron Rivera will be fired before the end of the season next year, because Pat Shurmur offense is not good. He is a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are extinct. You see any T-Rex rolling around here outside of Jurassic Park? Huh?
Not T-Rexes, no.
Okay. All the other animals on Jurassic Park that I have no idea about, because, I mean, that's the part of movies. It's a time to zone out of reality. Pat Shurmur is a dinosaur, and if you hire him as your coordinator, you are signing up for a ticking firebomb. And Sam Howell, I thought, was decent. But for him to be the guy and Pat Shurmur's your coordinator, good luck, Buttercup. All y'all gone. It's not going to go well.
Sam Howell's interesting because he's another guy who was projected to be the number one pick 2 years before he could come out.
I saw his pro. He was all right. I don't know. Well, he was okay.
That's by the time he got to his last year at North Carolina, after he lost, I believe it was 5 players on offense, skill position guys to the NFL the year before.
But that offense last year, that year with Sam Howell, I saw that offense. I know that offense that they were running. That offense was not very good. That offense was it was ran by, if the corner's here, we run this. If the corner goes here, we run that. That offense was terrible. Yeah. It was terrible. He is so far behind in the NFL running that type of offense.
So do you think it did him favors sitting this much during the regular season this year?
Yeah, because he had the chance to watch Carson Wentz show him exactly what not to do. You want to know how to screw up a read? Just watch that man screw up a read.
Right.
I don't think Taylor Heineke is the next coming of great quarterbacks, but he's an upgrade for Carson Wentz, and his teammates like him,
which is huge. We're talking coordinators.
Yep.
What if the Chargers aren't going to fire Staley? What should they be doing? Because they definitely need to upgrade somewhere.
It's not it is the head coach has to tell them what to do. I think Lombardi I like him. I know he does some kind of offense. I think it's good. The head coach has to guide him. I'm critical of Staley, and Staley I think Staley's a good coach. I just don't think he knows he's not a good game manager.
Do you think he's a better coordinator than head coach?
I don't know, because we want to say that, right? We've seen now in Chicago 2 coordinators who look really good as coordinators who have come up short as head coaches. Vic Fangio and Brandon Staley. Staley was the coordinator in the Rams, right? But he was linebackers coach in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So it was a combination.
How do you think, because I've seen Herbert getting a lot of criticism because he was really only just able to score with a short field in that game. Do you think he looked okay in that game, or do you think more blame should fall on him?
Here's the thing. You don't have Mike Williams.
Mm-hmm. DeAndre.
Yep. DeAndre Carter, the little shifty, your shifty wide receiver, he's out. They did a great job. He did a great job of feeding Gerald Everett. He played well. Shout out to Gerald Everett. Look how good he looked with the Rams and with the Chargers. And how did Staley know Everett was going to be this good? Because he saw what he was with the Rams. Then he goes to Seattle, just like Noah Fant does, and he's disappeared. He's missing in action. Every tight end that has gone to Seattle gets missing in action. Let me go down the list for you. In Seattle, tight ends, especially receiving tight ends, Noah Fant. Looks great. I saw him on the field a few times. They go to Disley. Disappears. Fant, gone. Okay? Jimmy Graham, disappeared. Okay? Greg Olsen, disappeared. Gerald Everett, disappeared. They don't utilize their tight ends. They run the ball. That's just what they do. So understanding when we talk about, well, this guy's a scheme guy. Yeah, so you have to have guys that their scheme and the players have to mesh and go together. There are certain offenses, there are certain teams that certain players will not do well. I'll give you another example. Did you know that Cedric Wilson Jr. is on the Jacksonville Jaguars?
The Miami Dolphins.
That's my whole point. Actually, I knew that. I was throwing it out there to show you it doesn't matter which team he's on. He doesn't get any run because he doesn't fit their scheme. However, you take a year ago and you put him back with the Dallas Cowboys, and how good does he look?
He looks dangerous.
You think they could have used him earlier in the season with Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Cedric Wilson Jr.?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you remove Cedric Wilson, you remove Amari Cooper, and you know what that's called? A rough start.
Yeah.
Talking about guys, I don't know if Cooper Rush is going to be a all-star, a Pro Bowler, but I could tell you, just like my quarterback, Jake Delhomme, if you get around good coaches that can help you when you go to your new team, you make an impact. Skylar Thompson has making an impact. Brock Purdy making an impact. Tua Tagovailoa look like a peanut butter and jelly under Brian Flores. My man is a steak dinner under Mike McDaniels.
We've had criticism of plenty of coaches this show thus far. What did Mike McDaniel learn was that a Saturday game? No, Sunday. On Sunday, because there were some questionable moments, especially as the pressure got on them.
They're not running a ball excellent. But here's the thing. The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills playing each other, they're cousins. They know exactly what's going on. The third time, just like the third time with San Francisco 49ers, just like the third time with the Baltimore and Cincinnati, it's slow drip. Who's gonna win? When will the momentum shift, and how long will it take for them to pull away? Cincinnati, it was slow drip. They didn't necessarily pull away exactly, but you had a sense that Cincinnati was gonna come out with the win. It was just too many things that were going on that I was just like, I would be shocked if Baltimore wins, but I'm also looking, and Cincinnati just seems to be less panic and frantic than the Baltimore Ravens. Would you agree with that? Frantic and panic?
Only after the fumble, because up until that point, it was in Cincinnati. That crowd was dead.
It was dead. Yes. But that's the thing about that's the thing about playing at home. All you need is just something slight for the momentum to shift for the home team.
For sure. And I mean, trying to dunk the ball from the 5-yard line was all the momentum they needed. That was Greg Roman. That was an interesting play.
That was actually I heard the play was supposed to go. He wasn't supposed to go over top. He was supposed to go in the middle.
Duck.
Yes, but he went over the top because the player felt that he can get over. He was almost there. Game of inches and seconds.
Where it still, to me, comes back to Greg Roman is J.K. Dobbins' comments after the game. Because we had a couple of players this weekend be real candid, which I appreciate. I don't know if their teams appreciated it, but I appreciated it. And between him and Joey Bosa, there was a lot of talking going on after games. J.K. Dobbins, I don't get a single touch in the fight. Even Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards, especially short yardage.
Greg Roman has to go, bro.
That's why, I don't know. Huntley was playing real well up until that point. He looked super confident up until that point, and then that play happened.
But there have been other games Huntley has had. Bro, think about it. Their receivers aren't even catching touchdowns.
For sure.
When there's 10, there's 8. Think about it. They scored. They had before this playoff game, the last time a receiver caught a touchdown was week 3.
It was the first time they had scored 2 offensive touchdowns in a game.
Think about that.
Since November.
Think about that. Bro, we're not playing Connect 4. Touchdowns are how you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Roman has to go.
Has to.
And I'm not sure Lamar Jackson has done himself a favor with his behavior.
What do you mean by that?
Tweeting what his injury is. That's bad for business, man.
He's also, I get why you're
Super
saying
sensitive.
that.
Sorry.
The team was also leaking reports that he wasn't training, he wasn't doing this. At a certain point, it feels like you gotta stand up for yourself, no? True or not, do you not have to stand up for yourself when you've got a massive payday looming?
Why is the team leaking you're not doing it?
I can't speak for the Ravens. I don't know.
That must mean you're not doing it.
It's
Or you may not be doing it as much as everybody else has to do. Right? Think about it. I saw a report that the Cardinals are allowing Kyler Murray to be involved in the coaching search.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you already have put a stipulation in there requiring him to study a little bit more. What does Kyler Murray know about business when the man don't even, according to reports, doesn't even study enough? So how is he going to know? So I guess when I meet with my financial planner, I let my 8-year-old be part of the meeting because he wants to know what's going on. Sit in the back seat, son, in your car seat, and enjoy the ride. Master your craft before you start going in. You start doing things that's outside of your job description.
Do you think
I've been part of decisions in bringing in some free agents, and I'm not going to say when or what it was, but I was called by a general manager at one point and said, "Hey, we got to pick up a guy. We got to let a guy go. Are you okay with that?" And I thought about it, and I was like, "Wow, this is cool." I gave them my opinion. They went with what they did. I look back on it today. I shouldn't have had that opportunity to make that call because it was the wrong call. I made the call off what I thought, and I had never spoke to those individuals. And then when I did, if I would have spoke to those individuals after we signed those individuals, I would have told them based off when I met them after we signed them, man, that was a mistake. But I didn't know any better because I was just enamored with the possibility that I'm part of the process. I was immature and unaware of the process and the ramifications of that process that I did not fully partake in to be able to assess the situation at the level that it needs to be assessed at, because I was inexperienced.
To have a fully formed opinion.
I was uninformed completely.
So do you think Lamar should have played?
I don't know how severe the injury is. I don't. So
he told you. He tweeted it out.
Yeah, no, he can't. Like somebody said, man, put a brace on it. You don't know how injured he is.
Yeah, I think that was Reggie Bush.
Yeah, no, it was Michael Vick, I think, said put a brace on.
Oh, yes, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think Reggie Bush also said something about him playing.
But
RG3 is the only person I heard say do not play. He's the only person.
Well, that's also, too, telling me that there's some instability, and here's the instability that you can't have. If you got to use your legs and your legs are hurting, there's probably a chance it's not going to work out well. You could do more damage than good.
Definitely, especially if you're thinking about it the whole time and your head's not focused on the game.
I don't believe I'm in the right position sitting at the comfort of my home to say, man, rub some dirt on. Take 2 shots of Tussit, you be okay. Mm-hmm. Like that doesn't work. Rub some dirt on it. You know, or you're not. I remember when I was a kid. I don't know if I told this story. Man, let me tell you, my mom, shout out to my mom, Mama Florence, my mom. But my mom was extremely harsh towards me growing up.
The one that used to scare you to death. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So one time I was really thirsty, right? And we walked into somewhere where they had beverages. Okay? I'm a kid, so I'm not talking about alcohol, like a soda or water or something. Man, I said, Mom, I'm thirsty. You know what my mom said one time? She said, can you spit? Spit. And I said, yeah, I can spit. She said, well, you ain't thirsty. Bro, as an adult right now with 4 kids, what does spitting have to do with my palate being dry? I'm thirsty right now talking. I've been talking for an hour, 11 minutes, and 52 seconds and counting. I could take a sip of water. It would help the saliva. My lips are chapped. I'm thirsty. Well, according to my mom, because I can spit, I'm not thirsty. That ain't true.
Your mom has a mentality of like every high school football coach in America.
Yes, my mom is a savage.
This is Bandit. He founded Underdog Fantasy so that humans who really love sports could play with their friends and win some big prizes. Tell your human to go to underdogfantasy.com today.
But Jacksonville, we barely touched on it. That, to me, going into like as a player, because this is, I think, somewhere where players and fans differentiate. When it was 27-0, did you think it was?
Bro,
over?
I was watching that game and I'm like, so 2 games, I was literally there with them. Tampa Bay and Jacksonville. Like, bro, you're running routes and you have no way in hell things are going to change or improve. However, with Jacksonville, when they scored at the end of halftime, right before halftime, you could see the momentum change and they started to figure out they can move the football on them.
So when you go into that locker room,
you go in that locker room, you go in there with the score, you have a chance. That's why Tampa Bay tried to score at the halftime. Tampa Bay didn't have a chance, man. The way they were consistently pressuring Brady, the way Brady he was rushed on his throws. Mike Evans was not. He was trying to figure it out too. They did a really good job against Tampa Bay. They had a great game plan. I was shocked how bad and lack of, man, Dak Prescott was back there he had all day. Yeah. He was able to maneuver. Tony Pollard balling, CeeDee Lamb, Them boys was in trouble.
And why Steve just informed me, I'd like to apologize to Reggie Bush. He said Lamar Jackson should not play unless he's 100%. So I got him conflated with everyone else who said he should play. My apologies to Reggie Bush. I know he's watching.
Yeah, well, you know, you're talking about Martin Luther King Day. You know, not all black people look alike. Michael Vick and Reggie Bush do not look similar.
No, not even a little.
Yeah, not even close. They're not even the same height.
No, they sure aren't.
Yeah, so... Man, come on, man. Get your black folks together.
This is why I apologize.
I know.
Credit to me for apologizing.
Hey,
do you think Buffalo should feel good about that win? Is it as simple as
it's a win? Game? A win is a win. What I'm concerned about with Buffalo playing against Kansas City, you can't have that slow start. And Josh Allen needs to stop playing hero ball.
Right.
He is putting them in bad situations. Do they
get to Cincinnati? Do they beat? Do they get to Kansas City? Do they beat Cincinnati? And should this game also be at a neutral site?
I don't know. Well, here's what it is. Cincinnati is trying to indicate like they would have beat them. I don't know if they would have beat them.
Yeah, and it was way too early in the game.
Correct.
To know one way.
But guess what? Here's the thing. We're going to find out. Everybody get their chance.
I think they should play 7 quarters. That's my solution.
Good. That's a good one right there. Touche, dog. Touche. I like that. Because I was like, 7. I like it.
Now we'll know one way or another. Who can survive 7?
Yeah, we're gonna find out now.
Kansas City's like, yes, please play 7 quarters. Yeah. We'd love that.
Yes. So here's let's go to who's playing who. We
got 3 of the last 4 Eagles coaches are coaching on Saturday, which I find interesting. I might be the only person who finds that interesting, but I do find it interesting.
Only person.
Doug Peterson versus Andy Reid, which I think is like an all-time coaching matchup.
Yep.
And then you've got Daboll versus Sirianni for the late game. Can Jacksonville win this game?
No.
Why not?
I just think Andy Reid is going to have too much play design for the secondary, who at times gets confused very easily. They are high risk, at times low reward. Right? At some point, catch-up football is going to get you in trouble. Jacksonville plays catch-up football, and Buffalo plays hang-around football.
Mm-hmm.
They allow people that they're playing to hang around and play themselves back in the game. And that's why I believe Cincinnati can win. I want Buffalo to win. I think they have all the pieces, but I think Cincinnati's defense is a lot more complicated, and they adjust much quicker than Buffalo's defense. Cincinnati's secondary is not great, but they know what they are not. Buffalo secondary is not great. Tre'Davious White, baller.
Mm-hmm.
Dane Jackson, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Elam, he's evolving good. I just think they aren't as good in the back half as they want to be, as they would like to be.
They were missing a starting safety before Damar Hamlin got injured.
And
now
the employer, yes,
right.
That's going to be tough.
If Buffalo had Von Miller, because Cincinnati's offensive line right now doesn't look the best, I do think Cincinnati would be in more trouble. Obviously, Buffalo still has talent across that line, but I do think there's a reason they went out and got him, right? They got him for games like this.
Yes.
Since Kansas City kind of has not a huge demon to shake, but they've gotten big leads last year twice, specifically against Cincinnati, and blew both of those games.
Yep.
And right now, Jacksonville has to be feeling like there's no lead we can't come back from. So Kansas City can't get up early and just be like, this game's over.
But see, here's the problem, though. I believe Kansas City and Andy Reid has the ability to make adjustments, unlike Brandon Staley.
For sure. But I don't think
like I don't think Andy Reid is gonna go, hey, we're gonna give Pacheco more passes, the running back, than we giving our wide receivers. Like Staley's offense, they're throwing the ball to Austin Eckler, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
If you win. I'm just looking at the outcome.
For sure. One thing that gets torn apart all day, every single year is prevent defense. People hate prevent defense. What I hate and what I think deserves more flack is prevent offense.
Yes.
When teams take their foot off the gas and just be like, we're just trying to run down the clock. And I understand they're trying to minimalize turnovers.
They call that 4-minute drill. Or 4-minute drill, that's that old Norv Turner where you throw the ball in the first 3 quarters and in the fourth quarter you run it out. That's what they should do with LT. Right?
That team won what, 5-6 Super Bowls?
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the philosophy, okay?
I'm not denying.
I'm just telling you the philosophy.
It's a bad philosophy. Stay aggressive.
I know. It's a bad philosophy in the playoffs. It was a great philosophy during the regular season.
For sure. That's where you got to switch it up a bit.
That's not what coaches do.
No, it isn't, and it's their demise often.
Yes, it is.
I don't think. I think the coaching matchup in Jacksonville, Kansas City is pretty.
It's good because they know each other. Yeah.
Right. I give the advantage to Andy Reid, especially coming off a bye. He has that crazy record historically coming off a bye. But I don't think like the talent level between the two teams is that wide of a gap. We're obviously very familiar with Kansas City. They've been here.
Here's what I would say. I take Jacksonville's speed, but I'll take Kansas City D lineman, their D lineman with Dunlap and Chris Jones. Chris Jones is constantly, and we've seen what happens when you get after Trevor Lawrence. You know, it doesn't go great, but that isn't because Trevor Lawrence can't play. Like I said, I have yet to see a quarterback that's consistently under pressure perform well.
Right. Yeah. No one prefers pressure. No one's like, just let him through. Just let him through. Yeah. I got it.
Come on through. I'll make it happen.
I'm going Kansas City, but I
got Kansas City.
I don't think it's going to be like a blowout.
I don't think I think it's going to be great football. Mm-hmm. But you can't have that slow. You can't get Kansas City a 27 point head start. They not going to trick that off, buddy.
You can't give Mahomes 4 short fields. You just can't do that.
No. Can you kick? Because the Cowboys are looking for a kicker, I heard.
I wish. I'd be down. I'd be on the next flight. I wish.
Bro,
I've never seen anything like that.
I haven't either, but goodness, I was reminded too. We were in junior college. We had a kicker who missed a kick, and I was reminded by one of my good teammates, and a good friend, Mike Payton. He said, "Hey, Steve, you remember when I got to read the text? Steve, do you remember when we played Moore Park and the kicker missed the game winners for us, and you wanted to beat his butt in the locker room? He never showed up again. He didn't even ride the bus back." My reply: "No, I do not. I do not remember." Hey, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That was that. Can you spit? You're not thirsty mentality coming out. Oh, you got both legs? You should have made the kick. Yeah. Dum. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Dumacron.
What is the average relationship with the other 52 men on the team and the kicker? What is that relationship like?
I mean, if you're kicking it, we great. If you're missing it, it ain't gonna be good, bro. I mean, when guys mess up, you get on the bus. Guys be giving. You look at guys like you start. Here's what does happen, and it happens in every locker room. That's what they say. Good teammate, bad teammate, locker room. When your play starts to decline, and guys are watching you leave early, messing up in practice, show up late, just doing little things. That's what guys that's what you say, the rumblings, right? The locker room is divided because the leaders or people are starting to go, yeah, I like him, but I like him as a person. I don't like him as a player. That's when things start to change. That's why you start seeing guys start talking about who they like and that stuff, because they're trying to show, like, hey man, this is I don't care what the coach says. This is who I would rather go into a game with that I can count on.
Right. Peyton used to throw 3 picks, and then Mike Vanderjack would miss a kick, and he'd be like, "It was his fault." It was. I used to love that. That was so funny.
Yeah. Hey, there are more Vanderjacks in the NFL than Peyton Manning's.
For sure, 1,000%. It was just very funny to hear someone like say the quiet part loud. Basically, just
what are you gonna do? You gonna cut Peyton? You gonna tell him to keep pipe down, be quiet? Man, that man built a $2 billion facility. Shut up.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
All right.
I get it.
Eagles Giants. I'm just not sure. I want Daboll and I want those guys. I'm not sure the Eagles. Here's what worries me about the Eagles. Not this game. I got the 49ers beating the Cowboys, because the 49ers are a more physical team. But man, their consistent pressures are gonna get to you. And when we look at the Cowboys and watching the Cowboys against all of these teams, what has been the deciding factor? Decision making. People have given Dak so much flack, but the problem is not all Dak it's the pressure. It's is the quarterback making good decisions? No. But why isn't he? Because the offensive coordinator isn't making good decisions. Why? Because the defensive coordinator is applying pressure and doing things that create doubt in the minds of the player and the play caller, and it's actually happening play after play on the field.
And the Cowboys' offensive line, which had been as good as any
historically
line. Right. It isn't that this year.
No,
even
not.
That small step back. And I'm not saying
it's
they're
a
bad
huge
offensive
step
line.
back, though. It's a huge – it's not – that small step back is the difference between being a wild card, going to Tampa Bay, and having to prove that you belong there.
Right. So, yeah, how do the Giants, if they are going to win this game, how do they do it? Is
they
it
got to
heavy
get
Saquon?
Heavy Saquon. Daniel Jones making great decisions. But also that defense has to be able, can they keep the same, can they slow down A.J. Brown the way they shut down Justin Jefferson? And I love what Justin Jefferson said, too, about free agency and his extension. He said, if they want me here, I want to be here. Basically what he's saying, I want to get paid, and I want to get paid by Minnesota Vikings. But I'm not going to pass up getting paid because the fans want me to be. This is a game and it's a job. And you are an independent contractor that only can work in 32 selected cities. Mm-hmm. And if that city named Minnesota doesn't want me, I got to take my business elsewhere. But I believe Minnesota will do the right thing.
I'd hope so.
I'm not sure if Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen may have played his last game in Minnesota. And that leaves room for, I believe that's going to leave room for this kid named Blake Pro that's been on the practice squad they've been hiding to kind of show that he's the next Adam Thielen.
That'd be a remarkable transition to go from one to the other. If it pans out how they envision it.
Yeah. Keenan McCardell is their McCardell is their wide receivers coach. And I know Christian. Blake Pro was his first name is Christian, his middle name is Blake. He could play. His brother Austin, his dad Ricky, he could play. He tore his knee, which was a good thing. But he's a hell of a singer too.
Why was tearing his knee a good thing?
Because I don't know if they would have been able to have enough room on him on the team,
Gotcha.
And he would have been released.
So a good thing for Minnesota.
Yeah, good thing for Minnesota. Bad thing on the
Gotcha.
tear in the knee, but I just think it's all going to work for a reason.
Okay.
Hopefully he's 100% and he'll be able to impact the game in a way I believe he can.
Now Cincinnati's been.
I actually got Cincinnati winning that game.
I agree. But what I was going to say,
but I wouldn't be shocked if Buffalo wins it though.
No, they were favorited, so I don't think that would be all that surprising. But yeah, I have Cincinnati. I don't think they're too worried about the Bills. Like the Bills secondary, again, we talked about the injuries, but I don't. Again, Skylar Thompson was marching down the field on them. Mac Jones was marching down the field on them 2 weeks ago. So I feel like Joe Burrow can have himself a day.
I don't know about a day, but I think he'll be Joe Burrow. How about that? Joe Burrow is a pretty darn good football player.
Yeah. Do you think the Cowboys were screwed by having to play on Monday? And the 49ers playing Saturday. So
it doesn't matter. You got to play ball, bro.
You do have to play for sure.
You gotta play ball. You can't look at. I believe you can't look at that. Stop complaining. Stop looking at. This is the playoffs. You want to go to the bowl. You gotta do whatever it takes. You are the prime time game, so you're gonna get screwed. But you take care of business early in the season, you don't have to have that problem. I personally, at times, think playing in a wild card is good because you keep getting your groove.
Right.
I do like that. When the times where you are sitting and watching, you're just kind of practicing and you just kind of going through the motions.
Fall out of rhythm.
Yeah, I think so. You do fall out of rhythm just a little bit.
So could the Giants get out to an early lead? I'm not saying win the game, but could they get out to an early lead?
The way they play,
Philly, maybe
the way they play defense, I think they can.
Okay.
The way they play defense, absolutely. The thing, though, with the Eagles, are they healthy with their secondary? Is Jalen Hurts going to make good decisions? Are they going to get true penetration and pressures and knockdowns and getting the quarterback off the spot and making Daniel Jones question his throw or hesitate? They need to do that. If they don't do that, that's where it's going to be tough. Are they going to try to align? Is Brian Daboll going to try to align and get Hassan Reddick, who's a rush in, maybe try to put him in a position that some teams are doing with Josh Allen and make him cover?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope I like what Daboll's done year one, but I am pulling for Eagles 49ers because I do think they're the two best teams in the league. Two most complete teams in the league, I should say.
I agree. And I think if the Eagles play 49ers, I think the 49ers win.
Ooh. In Philly.
I don't care where it is because here's why. I think the 49ers defense is more consistent. Secondary actually knows. I think they know what they're doing. Gardner Johnson, I like him. For every 5 good plays, he will have a play where he's a step behind. Right? I think he's the tone setter back there. I like him, but he's a step behind. Right? I didn't imagine him impacting the game as well as he has for the Philadelphia Eagles because he was coming to his own, but he still has some of those young tendencies of, two-step. In New Orleans, he was 2 steps behind. I think now in Philly, he's 1 step behind or half a step behind every so often. He's learning the game more and more.
He was banged up a little this year. He was in and out, so it makes sense. It makes definitely tracks. How is Cincinnati going to beat Buffalo? Because we're both on the Bengals here, but how are they going to do it?
I think they're going to have to run the football more. Give them a healthy dose of P. Ryan and a healthy dose of Joe Mixon. Don't be predictable where P. Ryan's in a game you're passing and Joe Mixon's in a game you're running. They've done an excellent job, even though he's missed 4 games. He has 58 first down catches. I think that's ranked 3rd or 2nd in the league. Jamar Chase. What I love what they've done with Jamar Chase is he's the home run guy, but they've made adjustments when people are taking away. They're allowing him to run the intermediate routes, which is good because his yards after catch is unbelievable. T. Higgins is the go-to guy. Tyler Boyd, he's the guy in the middle. He just goes to work. He's a surgeon, bro. He's a specialist. It's like if you break your arm, which I have, he's the surgeon he's the risk guy. He's the guy that's going, hey, you guys do the surgery. Tyler Boyd comes in there. Let me make sure I stitch this up and make sure all the tattoos align. When I broke my forearm, the biggest thing I was concerned about is making sure that when they chop me open, that they sew me back up and make sure that my tattoos align back so they're not crooked. That's a light-skinned tendency, but right here, if you zoom in, it's off just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. And then right here is where the second time I broke it. And the second time I broke it, actually, I was playing flag football and I braced myself. But the real reason why I broke it is they've discovered the second time when I broke it, I actually had a hairline fracture in my wrist. So it was unstable. And so they went from a small plate to a double plate from here to here and then put some hardware on my wrist. I had to do workers' comp, and workers' comp actually, based on my work, they actually wrote me a check because I did miss, and there was some things that were missing in the first surgery.
Interesting.
But so what was that? So Buffalo, Cincinnati. Buffalo has to play smart football by Josh Allen. Lead a hero to the sandwich makers. Take what the defense gives you. Stop extending. He just sometimes Josh is just getting in over his skis, and he makes me worry sometimes. They give him too much leeway, in my opinion.
Do you think that's because it's a first-year coordinator? We talked about Daboll.
No. He was doing it last year with Daboll. I just think that's what they do. He's done that. I don't understand. They've drafted – how many running backs have they drafted? They've drafted 3 running backs every year. And who do they give the ball to?
Singletary. Or Josh Allen. But
yes.
It's I do feel like –
yeah, they've had 3 different types of running backs.
Zach Moss.
With 3 different styles. And yet, when they need a play, they give it to Josh Allen. And that's great. Until Josh Allen gets an elbow or something happens or the fumble that he has, and it costs them that possession or that series.
Do you feel like – I'm trying to word this carefully.
Ooh, careful.
Do you feel like the league is not calling Buffalo games normally?
I'm not into that, bro.
That's why when I see Josh Allen throw an interception and then hunt out Christian Wilkins, try and push him, fall down, and then they throw a flag on both teams and not just Buffalo, that's where it's like, what are we doing here? And I understand it's chaotic. You're not even watching that play necessarily. They don't see every little thing.
Look, the refereeing, who's refereeing? Robots or humans?
Humans.
So you're going to have human error.
Definitely.
That's all I can say about it, bro. That's why, look, when I had a problem with a referee, I would put my chin strap over my mouth so you couldn't see what I was saying. And then you could not see what I was saying, so that would indicate I'm not talking, so the referee couldn't throw the flag because there was no visual proof that I was cussing him out.
You wouldn't take off your helmet and spike it twice?
No. Now, I've thrown my helmet when I get to the sideline,
Sure.
but I will put my chin strap up over my mouth and tell them how I feel. I have called a referee. I told him he looks like he works at Foot Locker. Go in the back and give me a size 12 J's.
Joey Bosa made the wild claim that the refs were not only out to get him, they were going back into the locker room after the game and laughing about it.
Hey, bro, I have heard some refs tell guys to shut the blank up and get back in the huddle. I was like, whoa.
That feels different than they're out to screw over the Chargers, and then they're laughing about it. Yeah, like that. To me, I'm okay with that from a ref because some guys need to be told that.
Listen, I've seen some referees tell some players stuff that I'm like, whoa. Like, you're not supposed to be saying that. They just fired him, huh? Here, let me. So listen, breaking news. Breaking news. Joe Lombardi has just been fired from the Los Angeles Chargers. Let me tell you what is happening. When the coordinators are fired, when the head coach is potentially on the out, so he has according to management, have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This is a desperate attempt to salvage their job. You're going to fire the coordinator. But who was in charge of the coordinator?
Right.
That coordinator wasn't just doing his job without you being aware of what he's doing. How many times have you seen they shown a coordinator calling the play and the head coach is looking at the play call as he's calling it?
Every time.
Every time. Chargers and the Commanders are on notice. If they don't pick the right offensive coordinator, those coaches will not make it through the season.
No. Wow. I mean, as a player, too, do you see that? Like, the players on the Chargers,
you're seeing that and you're going, you can fire that dude, but bro, we know it's you.
Right.
That's me firing the coordinator is like me getting rid of one of my cars because I failed to maintain the maintenance on it. Mm-hmm. This dang Buick. My tires keep getting flat, but I have a nail in it. It's going to be tough. All right. Anything else?
Does Dallas have a shot against our Niners?
Yeah, they have a shot. Once kickoff starts, shot's over. No, here's how they have a shot. I believe they have a shot. How they handle the first 2 or 3 waves of the defense. The part that really concerns me is this. They just lost Joseph, the corner, who wasn't necessarily great, but he was your third string. Now you have Xavier Woods, who was formerly with the Buffalo Bills. And I keep saying it. When guys are out of work for a long period of time and are picked up at the end of the season, there's a reason why, and it's not because they were waiting for the right team. They were waiting because they were forced to wait, and they were team, and people know what they are not anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell you right now, Xavier Rhodes playing for the Dallas Cowboys sparingly and playing now potentially being thrust into the lineup, he's going to give up the cheese. He's a tall, lengthy, older, slowed down player, it will show at some point in that game.
Well, watching the 49ers this last week, end of the game, Debo catches a ball and breaks it for a touchdown.
Did you see him did you see him slow down and set it up and then put on the juice?
Well, he set up, and I think he was waiting for a guy who I think we talked about at the beginning of the year.
Brandon Ayuk?
And has kind of emerged. Yeah, he's kind of emerged, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
And throughout his career, he comes out of Arizona State, shows some flashes immediately, then gets DNP's coaches' decisions. And then he shows some more flashes.
I said Brandon Ayuk had the ability to be so much better. I thought he was better than N'Keal Harry when they were there.
Agreed. I remember draft night, people were like, wait till next year for the actual Arizona State receiver.
Yeah.
That turned out to be true.
Correct.
But I wanted to shout out Brandon Ayuk because a lot of guys, we talked about with the NIL, we talked about with transfer portal, a lot of guys do search that instant gratification. They don't get that playing time right away. They throw a fit. They demand a trade. You see it across all sports right now. Brandon Ayuk and Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan said, you're not playing until you do everything you're supposed to do. When multiple times this year when I've watched the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk has been busting his ass, blocking downfield.
Hell of a player.
And that's why he's gotten so many more opportunities catching the ball.
Jawan Jenkins, he's a little inconsistent, but I think he's developing as well. He's a guy that you have to pay attention to. When he's not on the field, I'm going, what's up with Jennings? Why isn't he playing? And there are times when Jennings, especially when Daboll was out, when Jennings was not playing, they were stalling. Right. Also talking about that game, man. I would have to be very careful because I know the kid, but man, Jonathan Abram, that little play. Here's what I would say about Jonathan Abram. Jonathan Abram is a guy, he plays to the whistle. He's an edge guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with Jonathan Abram, the Seattle Seahawks picked up Jonathan Abram because they lost Jonathan Abram when they lost Jamal Adams. Jonathan Abram, Jamal Adams are the same player. Liabilities in the pass game can come up and fill a gap, fill a hole in the run game. They're the same player. I don't know what they're going to do next year with both of those guys as safety because neither one of them can really consistently play in the secondary. You cannot depend on them to play the pass well. But Jonathan Abram, what he did to Debo is this. You're either unaware that you were doing it, or you just do little things like that so much that it's just second nature.
I think that's what it is.
Okay? But here's what Jonathan Abram he needs to be careful of. I remember his rookie year, he was with when they were still Oakland. He was in there, and he used to be hitting players, not thudding them up, but like killing, like blowing them up in practice. And they had to tell him, bro, don't do that. Jonathan Abram has put himself on notice for the next couple of years when the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks play twice a year, that people are going to be looking for little things like that, and they're going to be looking for opportunities to return the favor.
Mm-hmm.
He has done himself a disservice by playing that type of way. He believes playing that type of way is tough physical play. He's going to create a target on his back that I think is going to be more exhausting for him than for his opponents.
Well, and it's like even if they can't get to him, they're going to take it out on his teammates.
No, they're not. They're going to try to. Here's what Jonathan Abram, if he continues to keep playing like this, he's going to make himself into Cortland Finnegan.
Nah, boy.
Meaning where people are going to always be looking for you to do something like what we just saw.
So they can rip his helmet off and
I know you
beat the brakes.
I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is he's always doing something like after the play extra that you just go like, bro, what are you doing?
Does every
Like
locker room
goes,
have a guy like that?
yes, he goes out of his way and he gets himself out of position to
Right.
make that play than he does to be in the right position to make the routine play.
Right.
Yeah, they have that play. It's a special teams guy. It's somebody. You always have a player that does something like that. And I say like that meaning out of position where if they just did their job, they'll be a hell of a player.
Right.
That's why they let him go in Vegas. He's a liability. He doesn't read his keys and stay in his lane and do his job. He does everything but his job. And that's what Cortland Finnegan was. He was a guy that did everything but his job consistently.
This weekend, it pops up more in the playoffs because of how many people are paying attention to one specific game. I tweeted out, I've never seen a cornerback be so despised by all 32 fan bases like I have with Eli Apple.
Oh.
And the only response I got was Cortland Finnegan. He was the only person that people thought was close. Because there's guys, especially in division, you see a guy multiple times a year. It's like, I don't like that guy.
But see, Cortland, here's what Cortland did that made him hated amongst players, right? His teammates loved him because he was always nagging. Man, what I dislike about Cortland would do stuff, right? Like if there's a run play to the opposite side, and you were kind of like taking a play off or you weren't paying attention, Cortland would come and hit you in the back when the referee wasn't looking. He would do stuff like that.
Extra.
No, that's not extra. That's a cheap shot, bro.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Like he didn't come hit you head up. He would wait till you were not paying attention and hit you in the back. So I'm not a fan of Cortland. And so I mean I had my run-ins with him. I'm just not a fan of Cortland. I didn't like him.
But even that's like, I think the reason I still give the edge to Eli Apple is he doesn't do stuff like that.
No, he doesn't.
Like he's just not that good. Like that's all that's the only thing he's ever done is not be worthy of being the first round pick he was.
But I don't think Eli does the Cortland Finnegan nonsense.
No, he doesn't at all. That's why it's so interesting. Like there's no reason for Patriots fans to have any feeling about Eli Apple, but still people don't like him. It's very funny to me. Like he has done nothing. He hasn't been great. That's it. He's at best he's an average player. He was really good in the playoffs last year.
Bro, he's good for that. He's good for that team. He has a role. He has a role and he does it. Let me tell you a quick story. Let me tell you a quick story with Cortland. So I'm in Carolina going against Cortland, and Cortland does something. So we run a toss. Deshaun Foster run a toss. We're in Tennessee, and they run it to the right. And I'm blocking him. And he started doing little stuff. And so they run it to the right. And I take a play off. It's a toss to the right. And, bro, he comes. And I kind of jog off. And he comes full speed. Boom. Back. And I go tumbling. Boy, I am hot as fish grease. And I looked at him and I did shit like this. I said, I'm going to mess you up, bro. I am going to mess you up. So we run a couple of plays later, we run a toss to Deshaun Foster to my side. People could go back and look at it. It was Tennessee. Deshaun Foster's on the team. I take Cortland Finnegan and I block him all the way on our sideline. And I take him and block him into the Gatorade cooler on our sideline. And I stand on top of him and I say, now what? He didn't say anything. The next play, he starts mouthing. Keith Bullitt says, Cortland, shut up, bro. You just got ran into the Gatorade cooler. Shut up. So we lose the game, I think, or whatever the case may be. And so we have another play. We're running it out or something happens. We're running it out, and he tries to sneak me again. And this time I know it, so I'm playing like I don't see him. And he tries to come again, and I turn around. And I told him, bro, the next time I see you, even if I see you at the mall with your family and my family, I'm going to whoop your tail. I am going to whoop your tail. We fast forward. Chris Hope. Remember the safety, Chris Hope? South Carolina native safety.
Okay.
We at the Pro Bowl. I'm in line. I get up early, come in after a long flight in Hawaii. We get in a line. And guess who is, I'm talking to Chris Hope. And guess who walks up to get his credentials to get in the line?
I would assume Cortland Finnegan.
Yes, sir. I take my laminate off, right? I take my hat off, and I am about to give Cortland Finnegan, I'm about to give him a good old-fashioned, that's what I'm about to give him. Dole whip, baby. Chris like, no, not right here, not right here. I said, brother, I promise you, whenever I see you, I was going to whoop your tail. All right? Bro, that's how bad and how irritated I was with Cortland Finnegan. That's what kind of player he was. Now, here's what Cortland Finnegan does, though, to let you know what kind of individual he is. He tries to dry snitch. He tries to tell that the defense coordinator at the time they had, or the DB coach, they had built up this thing that they told him he has to play like this so he could stay in the league and on the team. And that's why he played like that. That's not who he really is. He's actually a nice dude. But he played like that because that's how he felt. That was the only way he was going to stay on the team, by being a dirty player.
Did he become
Are
nice
we friends?
dude?
No, he's not a nice dude because a couple of years later, right? A couple of years later, he was actually on the Carolina Panthers team when they went 2015 when they went to the Super Bowl playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody got hurt, and so Bob Anderson did my Achilles surgery. Well, I was coming in to get the checkup. Guess who's in a doctor's office when I'm with my little Wheatley schooler, Cortland Finnegan. I wheeled past him. I looked at him. He said, "What's up, bro?" I said, "We good?" He said, "We good." I said, "That's what I thought." And I wheeled on off.
Was there like a collective cheering amongst wide receivers when Andre Johnson put the beats on him?
No, it actually wasn't, because we were all upset that we didn't get to do it. That's the problem. We were all jealous. And here's the thing. Dre is a quiet dude. It takes a lot to get Dre.
That's
mad. Dre was like, bro, I just got tired of him. Because they played each other twice a year, and he would always do something. And Dre was like, man, here's the other part. I can't say what I really know what happened in the meeting with somebody, but all I heard and all I know is there were people in the front office of the NFL that didn't have a problem with the way things were handled.
It was justice. It was straight justice.
Yes,
it played out
it really was.
correctly.
No,
you can't say his name without every fan that was alive for it. When you say Cortland Finnegan,
bro,
they picture him like a turtle with Andre Johnson.
Here's the thing. Cortland actually had a pretty nice skill. He wasn't a good corner, but he was a smart corner.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he just didn't have to do all those antics, man. He would cheap shot you, man. It's not this is a hitting sport.
Right.
Hit a man when he's looking. Hit him head up. Don't hit him low. Hit him head up while you're looking at him. He didn't, man. That's why guys didn't like him.
Yeah, Brady had a cheap shot yesterday too with that slide tackle he did after the pick. Or after the turnover. I don't remember if it was a pick. But yeah, bad look. Gotta call it like I see it. Bad look.
Remember the other one when I told you he was like with his foot? Remember? Hey, I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of funny stuff that be going on that people don't realize. It's a lot of little things that go on that people think, oh, he's a high head. He does. Man, you gotta watch 2 or 3 plays before that to know really what happened in that play.
Right. It doesn't happen out of nowhere.
It doesn't. It's built up. Like things happen like in practice or something, like guys are doing things and they just, man, and it's such a natural reaction. You just kind of like, bro, if this dude push me after the whistle one more time, one more time. And then he does it, and then it just, oh! That's what happened. That Tupac come out on.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Well, another great addition to Cut to It. I'm Steve Smith Sr.
Coley Mick.
Just cut to it. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you.